hello, football family. Is everybody doing okay? Everybody take a
Everybody's
deep breath. We're okay. We are 4-1. We didn't lose to Middle Tennessee State at home.
right, right. Could be
We're
worse.
good. Yeah, we lost to a very good ranked team. We're good. Everybody's good. Nobody needs to get fired. We don't need a new quarterback. We don't need a new anything. We're all we need. We're all we got, and we're gonna be okay. That's yeah. I was actually a part of one of those, and it was one of the craziest moments that I had at Florida State, and it was the quarterback from Iowa State. What was
Oh
his
yeah, yeah.
name?
What was his name?
Um,
2002.
yeah, Seneca Wallace.
Seneca Wallace. Yeah, he played in the league for a
So
long time.
we go to and I was still on defense at the time,
Hey, was he inbounds or
and
not? Was he inbounds or not?
I
Or
thought
was
he
he?
scored.
Oh,
I'm
you
pretty
sure he
sure he
scored?
scored. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he scored. Um, and I can remember multiple times in video, in film, we would watch a clip and he would literally run circles around, the Big 12
Right.
defenders. And we would skip them because we'd go, that's a Big 12 defender. He's not running like that around us like that. Like this is Florida State. Like we've got speed everywhere.
Right.
He's not running circles around us like that. We get a quarter and a half in, and Mickey is about to absolutely lose his crap because he did exactly what he did on film to us, and we were done. Like we had no clue how to respond. I'd never seen our defensive staff. They always were so confident. They always had answers for
Right.
everything. That was the first time that I looked at those guys and they were done. Their faces were just glazed over. They couldn't believe how fast he was.
Right.
And we did not have an answer for it. And it happened all night and it happened on the final play of the game.
Yeah.
And
People.
technically probably won the game. And we got a favorable call and we got out of there with the win.
Saw a couple of people asking about the kicker situation. I do want to just kind of offer my thoughts on that. I didn't write about it. I did write about the situation with Fitzgerald a couple weeks ago, and basically just said I think what Mike Norvell likes to do is I think he likes to show kids loyalty if he believes that they can be good players and the best if he believes somebody's the best player they've got or the best second team player they've got, I think he's going to do everything he can to give them every chance to become what they need to be because that'll help the team. And I thought we saw that
Mhm.
with Tate Rodemaker, where a lot of people were like, "Oh, Tate can't do it" when he came in against Duquesne, but Mike Norvell stuck with him, kept working with him, and then he comes in and shows what he can do against Louisville. So that was my equation with Ryan Fitzgerald. Is I think he's willing to deal with whatever Ryan's going through because he's their best kicker long term. They do have a walk on, but Ryan's their best kicker if he can figure this out. I do wonder now, though, man. You put him out there again in a situation where now he's getting booed by the home crowd. At what point do you think, as a coaching staff, you need to say, "Look, man, we need to give this guy some time," or so it's not fair to him at a certain point. I worry if that kid goes out there when they're playing Clemson in 2 weeks, what the crowd is going to do. That's a tough
Yeah.
situation, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kicking on the road
I
is one thing, but man,
uh,
if they send him out there again, I mean, how are you supposed to kick when the whole crowd is groaning that you got sent into the game?
it's very tough. That kid's, you hope that the coaches take a smart approach. And a part of having a smart approach here is knowing the kid, like having a
Right.
relationship with the kid and knowing him well enough to know how do we motivate him? How do we handle that? How do we create the pressure situations in practice? So that when that does happen, when he does face Clemson here in 2 weeks at home, and those guys are moaning and groaning, um, that he can still get out there and do what he does. A big part of that is sort of the culture support system that you have amongst your team.
Right.
That we don't lose a game because of one guy.
Right.
Everybody has to do their part. Everybody has a role. If you've created that solid sort of foundation, that will lend itself to a kid bouncing back. I think this is a huge moment in Mike Norvell's tenure with this program, because these are the things that we have not done well in the past. We've had teams with this talent level in the past, in the
Yeah.
relatively near past, that were this talented, but their problem was the response to adversity. Things like this would happen. And even I saw it in that game. I saw a level of resilience that hadn't been around in our program recently.
Right.
When adversity hits, like I said, 21-7 and then a missed kick, and then the offense, and then the other team gets the ball back 28-7 on the
Right.
first possession. That game, in the past Florida State teams, that game was over.
You think it gets out of hand? Not only does it get out of hand, but you probably have guys fighting on the sideline. You probably have
100%. That game gets out of control, like in a lot of different ways. Like you said, coaches bickering with each other, coaches bickering with players, blah, blah, blah. I didn't see that. I didn't feel that. That team, tightened their britches and went to work. They grinded out that second half. So I really feel like they have an opportunity to do that same deal. And being so close to it, I think hopefully it'll have that sort of effect. I do have an Anquan story. When I was a freshman,
so you're on defense.
I was on defense.
Yeah.
This was it's probably my second practice with Florida State. But now, mind you, back then we had freshman camp. So we already had freshman camp. I'm done. I'm dead. Like, freshman camp was the worst thing. It's the hardest thing that anyone's ever done. You're practicing with like 1/4 of a football team because it's just the freshmen. But we're practicing as if it's a normal practice. And Mickey Andrews is my coach. So he's literally trying to kill us. So now all these guys show up and they're NFL guys. It's Anquan Bolden and Javon Walker and Atruz Bell. These guys show up. They're fresh. We've been practicing for 3 days with no help, no backups. And here they go. We're in our first team session. And they're calling the play in the huddle. And I see Anquan look out and see, here's this superstar, all world, recruit that just showed up. I'm going to, and I see him telling these guys, I see him telling the other wideouts, hey, watch this. So I'm thinking, he's about to come out and give me, Anquan's very quick. He's shifty. He's about to try to turn me around and spin me or whatever. So he releases off the line. I start to mirror him, thinking, okay, he's going deep. He's got to run a deep route. He gives me a move, and then he takes his forehead and sticks it right up under my chin. He proceeds to drive me about 17 yards up on the hill. So we're on the bottom practice field.
Right.
He drives me up on the hill onto the practice field number 2. Is that level now, or is it still?
It's all level now.
It's all level. Okay, yeah. So you guys, that been to the practice field, the new practice field, you don't know, but it used to be levels. He drives me onto the second level and dumps me there and just gets up and jogs back to the huddle. It was a great and horrible introduction to ACC real big time football. And I tell my guys, wideouts that I work with now and DBs that I work with now, I tell that story all the time because it showed me a lot about sort of a mentality that I can contribute to a team more than just running routes. Like, he was the best route runner that we had by a mile. And his thing wasn't to show me that he could route me. It was sort of to prove he was the alpha by, spinning me around and then dumping me up onto the second field. And it was such a great lesson. It's a great life lesson too. Everything you do doesn't need to be a touchdown down the field. Sometimes the dirty work is just as important.